Hey, happy new year. Welcome to 2026, y'all. We made it to another year. Thank you, God. Woo! I pray that God gets us through this year much better. We come out better on the other side of our through, and that we have and live a meaningful life. My name is Lynette. As you know, I read out of the Love Exquisite Magazine each month that you can access for free online at loveexquisite.com. Love Exquisite LLC, I should say. Loveexquisitellc.com, y'all. So pay attention because this one is good. For those who are in relationships, those who aspire to be, those who are in dating relationships or in friendships, be meaningful. The article that I'm reading is titled Meaningful, and it is written in the For the Love of Relationships section of the Love Exquisite Magazine. And here we go. Remember, these are unedited. In a world where relationships can sometimes feel rushed, robotic, or shallow, having a meaningful and purposeful relationship built with intention is more important. For couples, intent means choosing each other thoughtfully, communicating honestly, and working towards shared values rather than simply being together out of convenience, obligation, or habit. It's being meaningful, being purposeful, being intent in your courtship, in your courting, in your relationships, in your friendships, in your dating. It's important. Nobody has time to waste anymore. Life is way too short to waste time, so you should do things with meaning, with intent, and with purpose. A relationship with purpose is rooted in understanding. Couples who take time to truly get to know one another, and what I mean by that is knowing each other's goals, each other's boundaries, the strengths, your weaknesses, your likes, your dislikes, your challenges without outside influences. Key point in that, without interference or distractions or outside influences of people in your ear or other people that you trying to see behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Without all of that, it's hard for you to get to know one person when you got other competing things around you that you're trying to get to know as well. So keep focused, be purposeful, meaningful, and do things with intent. Okay? You can do it one at a time, you know what I mean? And if it ain't working out, then you can move on. But at least pay attention to what's in front of you. You know what I mean? Pay attention to the person that you're really trying to get to know. Do that with purpose and intent. This understanding helps partners support one another through the growth and change rather than pulling them apart when difficulties arise. You know what I mean? When you have competing priorities, or your attention is here and then it's there and then it's there, it's going to cause a rift. It's going to cause struggle and challenges in your relationship, which is going to pull the two of you apart versus bringing you two together. But when you focus on each other and helping, trying to meet each other's wants and needs and likes and dislikes, and you get to know each other, you get a better understanding of who it is that you are faced with, who it is that you are dating, who it is that you're trying to get to know, and then you can focus your energy there instead of elsewhere. So that's important, because when your attention is divided, it's hard for you to look at the person in a real light, in a real setting, because you're either comparing or you're saying, oh, this person getting on my nerves because they're asking for more time, but you don't have more time because you're giving the time to someone else. So of course the person wants more time when you're not spending enough time with them. But don't get mad at them because they're asking you for something that you're obviously not giving them. You either meet the need or you move on if you can't meet the need. You know what I mean? Don't juggle, because that's not purposeful. That's not intention, and that's not meaningful. So be meaningful this year in 2026. You'll see the difference. You will see the difference. So don't miss this step of focusing on just the two of you getting to know each other without distractions when you're building friendships that could lead to more. You won't build if you don't have the right foundation. Be intentional. So intent also brings clarity. It avoids being confusing when you do things with meaning, with purpose. When you clearly state what your meaning and your purpose is, It brings clarity, not confusion. So when couples are clear about why they are together and what they want from each other, misunderstandings are reduced. Communication up front. Communicate up front. Communication from the very start, not in the middle, from the beginning, from day one. Honest communication. You got to tell them what your intentions are, where you're trying to go, what you need, your wants, your likes, your dislikes. Get to know one another. That way you know if you can develop a friendship or you can develop into a relationship, a healthy one. So communicate up front what you want from the friendship or the relationship in the very beginning to avoid confusion that could later backfire or can hurt someone else. Purposeful relationships encourages open conversation about expectations, about respect, and about future goals. This doesn't mean having everything figured out. Because people say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about it." I say that in another article. Because people sometimes you be like, "I want to talk to you about something." Then people be like, "Oh Lord, what they want to talk to me about?" Like they get scared. But it's like, no, when you can openly communicate, it's a beautiful thing. Especially when you actively listen and it's a reciprocal thing. You tell me things and I'm telling you things and we're just talking. We're having communication. It is key and critical to any healthy relationship. You have to have that open conversation, no matter how hard it is, or no matter what things you might not want to hear. It may be things that you need to hear so that you know how to grow in your relationship. Don't be afraid of it. So it doesn't mean having everything figured out. You know what I mean? A lot of things people think that, oh, it has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. You just have to be working towards something. You have to be working towards a common goal, a shared goal. It doesn't mean that there should be a breakdown in the communication because you don't want to hear what the other person has to say. It doesn't. If you're not mature enough to have a healthy conversation, then you're not mature enough to be in a healthy relationship. Think about it. So you don't have to have things figured out, but it does mean that you have to be honest and thoughtful in decisions that can and will affect both of you. Not just you, both of you. So meaningful relationships are not just about emotions. They are also about actions. Showing up consistently, listening actively, and treating each other with kindness, honesty, and respect strengthens trust. Intentional effort, especially during challenges, shows commitment and maturation. It shows maturity. Intentional effort, not just because you want something out of it, and not just because you're trying to gain something selfishly. Intentional effort, even during challenging times. It shows how committed you are to the relationship. So when you're not doing anything, you're not committed to the relationship. So let go of it so that the person can find someone compatible and on their level, so that they can be intentional and purposeful about what they're doing with their life. You know what I mean? You might not want to be intentional and purposeful what you're doing with your life, but they might want to be intentional and purposeful with what they're doing with their life. So sometimes you got to stop letting people choose that for you. You got to choose it, whether you want to be intentional or not. If they don't want to be intentional, then that's a decision you have to make. Do I want to be with somebody who's not purposeful, meaningful, and intentional? Probably not. So the decision is yours to make, whether you want to stay or whether you want to leave. Put the cards out there. Put them cards out there. Don't be scared. Be honest. That way you're not wasting anyone's time. So it reminds both partners. So being intentional reminds both partners that the relationship is something worth nourishing, not something that is taken for granted. Too often we take people for granted and we shouldn't. And then we crying when they leave, I'm gonna stay focused. I ain't gonna get into it. So whether you're older or younger, you should consider dating with intention and purpose, because your life and what and whom you spend it with is extremely important. It is important. So another important aspect of purposeful relationships is mutual growth. Healthy couples encourage each other to improve, to learn, to become better individuals instead of holding each other back. They inspire, with confidence. They inspire growth. They inspire accountability. This creates a partnership where both people feel valued and supported. Ultimately, relationships with intent are built on respect, trust, communication, and shared purpose. They are not defined by perfection. I can't reiterate that enough, but by effort and sincerity. To be successful in any relationship, both people have to want the relationship to work and be intentional about what they are willing to do and capable to do to contribute to the relationship actually working out. What are you doing to make sure that your relationship is working out? What are you doing? If you say nothing, then don't be mad when the person, you know what I mean? Don't be mad. And don't be mad at the person. Be mad at yourself. Be mad at yourself. If there's a cause and effect to everything, if you are on the receiving end of somebody not talking to you or somebody walked away from you, you got to ask yourself, what did I do to cause it? Put the mirror up. What did you do? Ask yourself and answer it honestly. What did you do to cause it? Don't be mad at the person for walking away. Don't be mad at the person for not talking to you. Don't be mad at the person for being mad or hurt by you. Be mad at you for actually doing it, for causing it. Okay? I'm just saying. Because y'all be mad at the person like they did something to you. Please. Anyway, we're going to stick to this article. When couples choose meaning over convenience and purpose over impulse, they create connections that are stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling. And those type of connections usually can withstand the challenges and grow over time. So if you're being impactful, if you're being meaningful, even when you face challenges and tough times, y'all in the fight together, y'all in the trenches together, it can work out when you're working together. The key thing is you got to be working together. You can't be working against each other or it'll never work. And you can't be working selfishly either or it will never work. You got to think about both people, both parties, everybody involved. So without being intentional in your friendships or your relationships, you risk the possibility of losing someone with whom, by your actions, you make them feel that you believe that there is no meaning or purpose for them in your life. So if a person feels like they have no meaning or purpose in your life, what you think they're going to do? You think they're going to stay? For what? For what? What is the meaning? What is the purpose? You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to just think. It's not that hard. Just think. If you make a person feel like there's no meaning or no purpose for you having them in their life, they feel devalued or undervalued, and they feel like, why am I here? What am I here for? What are we doing? You can't make your mate feel that way. So if you want your mate to stay, show him or her by your actions, not your words, your actions, that they have meaning, that they have purpose in your life, and that your intentions for having them in your life is good. That's it. That's all. Show him or her that they mean something to you, not just in words, but in actions. Your actions towards your mate. Your actions towards your mate will tell them whether or not you want them in your life, or if you'd rather they leave. Do you want them to stay or do you want them to go? How you treat them by your actions will let them know everything they need to know, whether you want them to stay or whether you want them to go. So think about how you're treating your mate. Think about how you're treating your friendship. Think about how you're treating the dating relationship. Think about how you're treating the person that's in your life that you don't want them to leave. What reasons are you giving them to stay? Think about it and be impactful.